Outlander is a show that's well known for its great storylines, intense relationships, and of course, big weddings. This time, Season 6 of Outlander gave us many more wedding scenes than we'd initially expected. Here's what the Outlander stars said about the double wedding and more. Just one little warning though, if you haven't already watched Season 6, then this video might give you some spoilers. First up, comedy at its finest. Caitlin O'Ryan, who plays our ultimate favorite Lizzie, had a rather difficult scene in Episode 7, Sticks and Stones. She revealed to Claire, who is played by Caitríona Balfe, that she's pregnant, but unsure who the father is. Now this part is enough to digest for Claire, but Lizzie takes it one step further by revealing the full, and we mean explicit, details of her romantic relationship with the twins. Wait, twins? Yeah, you heard that right. Lizzie's involved with both Josiah and Keziah, the twins that are played by Paul Gorman. So as Lizzie further explained how her relationship had turned sexual while Claire was away with Jamie, we believe it was rather hard to keep a straight face while delivering those lines. We mean, the dialogues in this sequence were pure comedy with a straight face. Lizzie even went to the point where she said that they got, quote, slippery with ointment, unquote, which obviously happened when the boys were helping Lizzie ward off the malaria virus. Claire was so surprised that she used Lizzie's full name to address her, saying, Elizabeth Wemyss. I'm not sure it's possible to engage in sexual relations with two men without meaning to. O'Ryan revealed in an interview that this is the scene that she originally auditioned with. Now that's super interesting, going back to a scene that you auditioned with 3 to 4 years ago. Considering that her remarkable acting for this exact scene gave her the role as our Lizzie, we expected nothing less than her totally acing it this time around either. In the same interview with She Knows, O'Ryan also revealed that practicing for this scene was rather hilarious. She recalled looking over at her co-star Caitríona Balfe and wondering, oh, my grandpa's gonna see this. Even though the rehearsals were quite funny for the duo, they did complete justice to the storyline when they actually played it on screen. Next up, ahead of her time. Let's be real, everyone was super excited to see the Lizzie, Josiah, and Keziah throuple storyline make it to the screen. For those fans who have already read the Diana Gabaldon books might have seen this coming, but most of us probably didn't. It's a pretty unconventional thing to happen, especially for 18th century America. But if Gabaldon can write about it in her novel A Breath of Snow and Ashes, then we certainly deserve to see it happen in front of our eyes. Most fans thought that breaking the stereotypes of monogamy in Outlander was way ahead of its time. All Outlander viewers had nothing but praise for the way these intimate scenes were handled to preserve the authenticity of the 18th century, while also smashing all stereotypes that society has. Talk about the #woke show. The unique and sweet love story between the twins and Lizzie is really what Outlander needed right now. It's just the perfect amount of drama, love, spice, and humor. Now for the fans' reactions. Like we mentioned earlier, Outlander tried to show us the first non-monogamous couple in history with Lizzie and the twins. The fans really went crazy on Twitter, with some calling Lizzie the real MVP and others just applauding her for her courage. Another fan tweeted that this scene was absolutely incredible. She added that Lizzie expressing her agency and not being ashamed of it is exactly the type of content that fans love seeing. The replies to this tweet were flooded with everyone tagging Caitlin O'Ryan and telling her that this is the Lizzie that they always wanted to see on screen. More fans jumped on the bandwagon and added that Lizzie's newfound experience and confidence adds a whole new dynamic to her personality. Plus, the fact that Claire wanted to help Lizzie understand what was going on was a true show of friendship and love. Just as actors O'Ryan and Balfe said that they had laughing fits during rehearsals, the fans enjoyed the same level of humor when they watched it. Although many fans did praise how Claire was able to keep her composure while Lizzie was just pure TMI. And now, O'Ryan was a fan. A month before she officially joined Outlander as Lizzie, O'Ryan said that her 9-to-5 job was watching the show. Now that's a job that we'd love to get paid for. O'Ryan mentioned that she'd never seen Caitríona Balfe or Sam Heughan before Outlander, since this was the show that made them incredibly famous. But it was definitely a fan moment for her to walk into that first table read and wait for either Caitríona or Sam to walk in. O'Ryan said that she kept thinking, quote, oh, they're on Outlander, but wait, I'm on Outlander. This is all so crazy, unquote. Up next, sharing the screen. In an interview where they discussed Season 6 of Outlander, both O'Ryan and Gorman told fans that they enjoyed bringing this complicated and humorous story to life. The whole "Who's the Daddy" storyline might be hilarious on the surface, but it also delivered some powerful scenes that will definitely be explored more in the upcoming season. Both actors also shared the screen with Caitríona Balfe and Sam Heughan, and there's no lie that O'Ryan and Gorman had their fair share of fan moments there. They had both been fans of Outlander before they joined the cast themselves, so working along with these big actors helped them learn a lot. O'Ryan also shared that the super TMI scene with Claire was not only important for her character Lizzie, but also for herself as an actor. She said that it was special to share such an interesting and hilarious scene with Balfe. On this topic, Gorman also shared that he's learned a handful of tips and tricks from watching both Balfe and Heughan on set. He's also gotten to know more about Scotland, and he's really loving the whole atmosphere on set. Interestingly, Gorman shared a scene with Balfe where she performed a tonsillectomy on him. Now, most actors don't like tasting fake blood, but Gorman seemed to enjoy it. We wonder whether that's because he actually liked the taste or just because he was sharing the scene with a phenomenal co-actor. So, what happened in the finale? Before we get into this, we'd just like to add a huge spoiler alert. If you haven't streamed the last episode of Season 6 yet, then we'd suggest you go watch it right now, and then come back to this video, of course. If you've already watched it, allow us to break down some of the events of the finale that left us all amused. Outlander has finally wrapped up the 6th season, but they've left quite a few questions unanswered. Not many fans knew that this season would only have 8 episodes, but you can blame the pandemic for that. The season finale, titled I Am Not Alone, opened with Richard Brown and his men all set to arrest Claire for the murder of Malva Christie. But it really isn't that easy to arrest someone in Outlander, is it? Of course, Jamie wasn't going to let Claire go without a fight, so a gun battle begins right then and there. Now for other Outlander news. What's going to happen? Apart from all those gunshots, there's a lot of other things that happen in the Outlander finale that we really need to tell you guys about. Firstly, why have Claire and Jamie not told Tom that Malva had been intimate with at least 2 men in the village? She even had relations with young Ian, who was later ready to marry her and become the father of her child. But before any of that could happen, someone in the village had other plans and decided to kill the pastor's daughter. Unfortunately, we still don't know who did it. Then, somewhere farther away, Brianna and Roger had a cute little moment of happiness that we cherished. They finally got the confirmation of their son's parentage, all thanks to a yucky lice infestation. Who knew something good could come out of having lice? But when Jemmy got a haircut that revealed a unique birthmark, everyone knew that it's the exact replica of Roger's birthmark. If that wasn't enough cuteness for you, little Jemmy also tells the baby in his mom's belly that he loves them already. Most of us at the office shed a tear or two at that scene. We also got a look at the Frasers, where young Ian had mysteriously found his aunt and uncle. Wait, how did that happen again? He promises them to get help, but we already know that there's no one coming to help soon. You can blame that on Richard Brown, who separated Claire and Jamie. There's also another scene where Tom makes a promise to Claire that her husband is safe and would be going home with her. Tom continues on the journey with Claire without checking whether Jamie is okay, but that's really his only choice right now. Both of them know better than to defy the orders of the treacherous Richard Brown. But hey, at least Brown wasn't lying entirely. He really did have a ship ready to take Jamie back to Scotland. But before they could set sail, young Ian arrived with the Cherokee. At this point, all we know is that Jamie had escaped, but he has quite the uncertain future ahead of him. And that's a wrap on this video. See you next time.